Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how I beat Rotation 2 of Amius. And we're actually going to learn together somewhat, actually, because I'm not even quite sure exactly how it worked, which is hilarious. We will also cover some of the other bosses we beaten, like the Dark Fae. In particular, annoying boss over here, Scarab. Some tricks for that, etc. So we'll look at like the other tough-ish stages along the way. So we will do that. But yeah, Amius is dead. There we go. We're getting there. We unfortunately didn't finish all the quests last rotation, but here we are. So let's dive in. Let's click play. Let's make sure you guys can actually see it. Here we go. Let me rewind it. Here we go. So this is it. Amius the Lunar Archon. The video footage is kind of sucky because I was playing it in like whatever 1200 by 700 on my second monitor while doing other stuff. But here we go. This is the team comp. And I think with this team comp, basically what we did is we essentially just overpowered the boss with damage. Now, believe it or not, the most important champion on this team, quite possibly, is Morrigan in the middle. What's going on with Morrigan? Why is she so important? Well, what Morrigan does, plain and simple, every single time she takes a turn, she puts on an unremovable, and it cannot be duration decreased either, which this boss can do. Heal reduction. Puts a full heal reduction on the boss, and there's nothing that he can do about it. This is so important because there is so much healing in this boss. And this boss also, yeah, he can be stunning you. He can be putting you to sleep. He can be doing all that sort of stuff. He can take a lot of turns, and it's hard to keep heal reduction up the whole time. She keeps heal reduction up 100% of the time, which, again, it stops all of his healing. It is absolutely so clutch. It is insane. So she is really important. After that, we've got Sifi and we've got Rotus. So this is a part of overpowering the boss, as it were. They're obviously a strong duo. Sifi's going to give us lots of healing. And Rotus is going to give us lots of damage. The other nice thing about Rotus is he gets really tanky because he steals the boss's max HP. He hits him really hard single target. All of his debuffs that we get in phase 2 get removed by Sifi, which is nice as well. And yeah, his passive stops him getting one shot, really. So let's see. When Rotus comes to take a turn in a second, you see, bam, big hit there. We get absolutely smacked, but we do survive. One thing that we're supposed to do, here comes up the Rotus turn in a second. Here we go. Just so you can see, so there you go. You see all of his debuffs get removed. That's the Sifi passive, which is so powerful. One thing that we're supposed to do, but is actually a bit difficult, we've got Nishak Verminlord in there. And you can see with Nishak, you see the boss, he's starting to get kills and things are going crazy. Who even knows what's happening at this point? Like, the boss is just firing off skills like crazy. We'll talk about how to get around that. Nishak Verminlord, it's a little tricky, okay? What I'd recommend doing is, it's pretty tough. A lot of it's going to come down to randomness. How many bombs do you place, etc. But with Nishak, I would probably be trying to land his decrease attack in this form 1 when these moves are on cooldown and when there's like one turn left on the transformation. Now, hopefully there'll be a free slot. You can only have 10 debuffs on the target. Nishak fills it up. If you don't have a free slot here, things can get kind of sketchy kind of quick, because you cannot get decrease attack on the boss. So here we go. We're going to try do it. We can count the debuffs. Okay, we've got enough slots. Now we can land decrease attack with one turn on, and that makes it so much safer. When the boss transforms, when he's about to transform, he's going to carry that decrease attack into form 2, and you won't die absolutely horribly and brutally. So that's sort of the idea there. You see, Death Knight actually tanked an A1 there, I think because he had no buffs on. Again, I don't really know why the boss did his A1 and not his other moves. I'm not really sure. I don't really know. That's sort of the weird thing that happened, I feel, on this rotation. We're counting up the depot, like, hey, hang on, how many are there? Can't get heal reduction back on quite yet. That's a problem. But yeah, the boss, he's supposed to like strip your buffs off and stuff like that, but he was doing other things there, and who knows why exactly. So it's just trying to put buffs on to try get him to do that and not be sort of spamming his A1. So hopefully he will do it. But you see, his health is getting low, right? The poisons are wearing him down. The bombs are wearing him down. Rotus is doing good damage. Here we go. Boss did some sort of move. And this is the amazing thing, right? The boss was just doing stuff. I don't know what he was doing. He was doing a whole bunch of stuff. we would have been absolutely screwed. But guess what? Margain, just by being there, put heal reduction on and stopped him basically full healing, right? We didn't know what was happening. The boss just decided, hey, I'm doing a whole bunch of moves and a whole bunch of orders. There's stuff happening. And Margain completely shut him down. So, like, she is the champion for this. No question. I was half thinking about using, what's he called? Archbishop Pinthroy as well. He's got heal reduction, 100% chance on the 3-turn cooldown. But after testing a couple of team comps with Margain, very quickly realized Margain is the way to go. Margain's the way to go. You see, Ultimate Death Knight, he does seem to absorb the first hit of Amius's 2-hitter thing, but it's quite challenging to survive the second one. So with decreased attack on the boss, I think there, he still hit us for about 40,000. So I have to re-gear people, and that's sort of the trick to it, right? If you want to survive, I think you could survive with other champions. You could bring in a different healer reviver than Sifi, right? You could bring in Gorgorab or something like that. There's lots of options. You could bring in Arbiter. That's possible as well. Rotis, he's doing damage, but you see Nishak is doing most of it. So you could bring in, again, you could bring in another support and have Nishak simply do all the damage. You could do that. That's going to be tricky, is you might need to re-gear people. So if I show you how I've built up these champions, I think they should be probably the last ones used. Almost. So Nishak, for instance, who's doing all the damage. Nishak's real squishy at 48,000, but he's got massive attack, right? And he's got massive accuracy. Now, you need the massive accuracy to debuff the boss, but let me get the stats for you. Okay, so if we go to the Raid Shadow Legends Stages tool on Hell Hades, it should be up here in the tool section. We can put in Cursed City of Centranos, Amius on hard, stage 1. It's going to give us the info here. And there are the stats. So he's like 250 speed, he's very fast. But he's got 450 resistance, so you need 475 accuracy in order to get past it. He has 550 accuracy, you need over 650 resistance to really be consistent enough to resist, which is kind of absurd. But yeah, with Nishak, you can totally rebuild him and just forget about attack, right? 7k attack, that's loads of bomb damage. A lot of the damage really is going to come from the poisons. So you can absolutely just crank his health high. He's got good base HP. So you need to have whatever 475 accuracy. You need to have good speed. And then you can crank his HP up really, really high. And you'll be fine. So you'd have to completely rebuild him, though, to make use of that. And you could give him defensive masteries if you wanted. I've got him over here with accuracy. You could give him defensive masteries if you want. My Sifi is in protection and speed. We'd ultimately like her to be a 9-piece protection. She's super tanky. I do wonder, perhaps protection is interfering somewhat with the boss trying to strip your stuff. I don't really know. I just genuinely don't know. But she obviously, she's helping us stay alive with her passive. Lots of healing. Lots of buffs as well. She can do potentially some healing with her A1. I don't think she's essential. She's really good at Rotis. She makes him so much better for this boss with her passive, where she removes all the debuffs from Rotis. That's really good. And Rotis with his passive... oh, sorry, his thing doesn't even work against boss. I didn't even notice that. But he just takes less damage, 30% less if Sifi's there. Sorry, that's what's happening. That's why he's so tanky. But yeah, that works. It's a good combo. It's not essential, though, I would say. Rotis, he's in lethal and cruel, so, you know, he's in good gear, for sure, with these masteries. Like I said, Sifi is with that. Ultimate Death Knight, he is in Stone Skin. Now, this is where there's not that many champions with decreased attack for this fight. This could be a situation where it is worth rebuilding your Ultimate Death Knight. And again, what you would do is you would focus on... I've got him with literally 0 speed. Literally 0. Not good for this fight, actually. You would probably want him, again, more around the 250 speed, right? You want high speed. You can get away with some because if you've got Margain, you're bringing her in. So you're going to have a lot of speed boosting there. But yeah, bringing him in with high speed. And again, probably trying to get that 475 accuracy and loads of HP. That would be ideal. So he can be potentially redirecting. It doesn't always work, right? I think it's only a 50% chance against bosses. He's got a 50% chance to redirect the first hit of Amius's A2. That can make your team much tankier, but it's very inconsistent. But you can bring him in. And with accuracy, he can be a consistent decrease attack champion because there's not that many that are super good or super reliable. Like you've got Uko could come in. but his one is not super reliable. And again, for me, my Uko doesn't have enough accuracy, so I didn't want to re-gear him. Or again, with Nishak, saving his A2 to put decreased attack before the boss goes into Form 2 is really, really going to help. But yeah, he's in Stone Skin. These are his stats, so not ideal. These are his masteries. And then we've got Margain. These are her masteries, and she was just really fast. Again, you would probably ideally crank her HP up more. Does she need accuracy for this? I think she does. Yeah, so she does. So she needs, you know, around about the 475 accuracy as well, and good speed, and again, lots of HP. And some defense doesn't hurt on any of these champs either. Won't protect them from the Amius A1, but there you go. Awakenings are really helpful. She doesn't have any, so she's going to get beaten up, unfortunately. But yeah, she doesn't, as you can see, she does not need to be booked either. She's literally just there for the passive. The passive is absurdly, absurdly good. If you don't have these, some replacements I would consider bringing in, but again, you'd have to re-gear them. Like the big one I've mentioned is, does it include it? If I did try a failed run with him, yeah, here he is, and I realized he's not geared the right way at all. Euros the Soul Cage, perfect for this. Again, with Euros, you'd want him with really high HP, but again, you'd want to re-gear him with, you know, close to 250 speed if possible, and you'd want him probably to have, again, close to the 475 accuracy. Why? Because he comes in and he gives you strengthen and ally protection, which is so strong. So when you go into Form 2 of the boss, you could hopefully have him strip your buffs, and then you can put up ally protection. The ally protection is going to massively protect you from the A1 that the boss is putting out. That's absolutely huge. And then he's got a really cool thing where he's putting out poisons whenever he's attacked, which is, again, really, really good. Potentially he could, no, he probably couldn't solo the boss. He'd get killed by the Form 2, but you know, like he could do really good because the boss is constantly putting out AoEs. Euros is going to constantly be putting out poisons. That goes up to a 75% chance when booked of putting poison whenever he's attacked. So Euros could be an absolute MVP. Again, the problem is I've got him built for Scarab. So Scarab boss, he's just really slow. He's really tanky. Yeah, you'd want to completely re-gear him. You've got like a day, but you could do it, right? You could swap him into the gear, hit the accuracy, and be good. Again, you could use Uko. Uko can strip buffs off and block buffs. That's decent. He's got decreased attack, a decreased accuracy. So he's a decent option as well. Again, you need to re-gear him with accuracy. Elinarl, I think, could possibly be a good damage dealer. If you don't have Nishak, you'd probably want to get your decreased attack from UDK or someone like that. Elinarl brings in burn and poison. So she's a really good damage dealer, but you'd want to re-gear her. She unfortunately needs 100% crit rate to land double poisons. You could have her just landing the burn every turn, but she needs more than this. Like I did test her out briefly. I used this Elinarl for Phantom Shogun. And, you know, she just gets one shot by one hit of Amius A2. So it's not viable with this. You have to re-gear her with the, you know, 475 accuracy, etc., which is like, again, it is a pain in the butt to reiterate. So look, there you go. There's a few different tips for this. I'd highly recommend, if you want to make it easier for yourself, the debuff section is absolutely essential. So coming in, check your heal reduction. If you don't have Margain, I think Archbishop Pinthroy is really good. After that, probably Old Gruckus. You're running into a bit of a tough spot. I think there was one. Was it this one? Someone pointed out there. So yeah, this champion Corpse Collector has heal reduction, decrease accuracy. Actually, AoE, that's kind of cool on a 3-turn, 100%. So that's pretty good. She also has Leech, which is quite nice. And she also has Poison. So she's a really good option as well. Corpse Collector as an epic. So really recommend her. Corpse Collector, Old Gruckus. You got a couple of epics that are good, but Margain is the easiest to make work. And then I would say decrease attack is really important as well. And this one gets a little bit more clunky. You can bring in some. Again, Old Gruckus would bring that in. There are some options, but everyone nearly will have Grush. With the legendaries, both of these two are good options with enough accuracy. Yeah, so you get the gist. You can make it work, but it's tricky. Maybe Man-Eaters can even do something. I don't know if he ignores Unkillable or not, but that's something to consider. Again, it would be a massive re-gear probably for your Man-Eaters. Tyrell, I think, is decrease attack A1. Yeah, which is actually okay. He's so old that it literally says damage inflicted proportional to defense. I mean, you can tell from that he's one of the first champions they ever designed. That's quite funny. He could be a consistent decrease attack type champion. So you do have options there. And yeah, for killing him, you're looking for poisons, really, of which I'd say Nishak is the best. I'd say Elenarl is good as well. And then, you know, you could use like a Scabrius or a Thane. You could use Frozen Banshee. She would probably work with enough accuracy, tanky, maybe some counterattack accessories. That could be good. So you've got some options there. We check out the best teams. There we go. We came here. You can see a similar sort of thing. We've got most people are using Seafies. There's a team without Seafy, though they do have a Cardial. Cardial showing up a lot as well. Grisors, insanely strong too. Lots of Nishaks. We've actually got Blizzard the Howler. I'm sorry, I'm blocking. We've got Blizzard the Howler showing up. I didn't actually think of mentioning him. That's really stupid of me. But yeah, if you're looking for ally protection, right, to protect you, it's one of the most recent fusions. I'm in the way, but you could put in Blizzard the Howler. You could also put in Islan, would work as well and give you lots of healing. So I think you've got, honestly, right there, you've got 3 very strong protectors and even Ultimate Death Knight to try to keep you alive. So you've got lots of options there. Again, we've got Nishaks here, Cardinals, or not Cardinals, Cardiel. Lanathril seems to be a decent option too. Leorius for damage. Okay. Yeah, so actually pretty similar. Are we on this list? Did we make it? I don't. Oh, we didn't. How many turns did I take? How far? 96. Oh yeah, we're a good chunk behind. I think they were 76, 78. 78 turns. Elenarl's in there. Venus could work. Mashald. Yeah, you get the gist. You could use Wukong. Problem with Wukong, yes, he can remove buffs and block buffs and stuff, but he's super squishy, so he's going to die every single time to the A1 and Form 2. So you need to sort of play around that. You might need to rebuild him to be tankier, for instance. I'd be careful with Wukong. Bad L, I think, is a good option too. Siegfried, yeah. So there you go. That was my attempt on Amius. Like I said, I'm not even fully sure exactly what's going on. He starts killing people. He starts popping off. He's using moves at random times. So yeah, I don't know. Like, stuff just happens. Like this time he got through, I think, he got through this entire phase. And I don't think he used an active ability once. I think it's to do with buffs. So I don't even know. Obviously, you know, your cooldown reduction can completely mess you up as well. So really be careful of that mastery or gear set. Any mastery or gear sets reduce your cooldowns. Yeah, stuff is happening, but Morrigan basically hard carries is what I'm trying to say. She's insane. I'll see you next time, guys. Hopefully this was somewhat helpful. It's all over the place, I know, but hopefully it was somewhat helpful. See you next time. Goodbye.